Welcome, welcome, Western community. Does it feel good to be back? All right, you got me as your first caster. I'm Ricky. You might know me as It's Jackhammer at here at Western. And then second, we have also Serena here. All right, and today we are going to be observing and seeing over our Western's very own Western Wisteria's CLoL team as they play in their first game of groups in the group stages. And you know, we'll see as we pull up. Yeah, we already have the pick and jam bath already going on. On the side, we have on blue side we have RIT, and then in Wisteria is going to be on red side. As you can see, the band phases are already going in. We already have Aphelios locked in as a first pick. The bands. Ooh, bands are a little hard to read on the side here, but I did think I saw a Camille band, which is going to be common, against our very own Aquatic. She's been known to play a very, very mean Camille, as well as a Seraphine band and a Lulu band. Seer is going to decide to lock in the Jinx and Skarner, ADC jungle. So far being a very standard pro draft. On the side of Wisteria, we're also seeing a Cassante band, a Misfortune band, and an Udyr band. Not super familiar with the players of RAT, but those are some pretty standard bands nonetheless. Those are all pretty all-rounders. Decide to lock in the Melio alongside the Aphelios, which gives red side the ability to counterpick possibly the enchanter that was picked. Alright, they're gonna decide to lock in the Syndra. Unfortunately, I do think that is also a steal away from one of our own players. Uh, yeah, I'm not too familiar with all the players of Wisteria, but I think you might be. So if you can give us a little bit more, a little bit more insight to who we're actually playing or who we're actually watching today.
Okay, so in the top lane, we will have our handy dandy top laner, Aquatic. She goes crazy on Camille, Renekton, and a bunch of other top laners, and Gwen. Did we? No, we did get the Gwen, which is actually amazing. Um, Usually they. I like to garner on. Okay, so
We see an Orianna ban, which I've been told is also targeted directly at our mid lane player. Another ban was locked in, but I can't quite see it just yet. Having a little bit of a technical difficulty on our side. Hopefully things are looking good for the stream nonetheless. Alright, looks like an Ambessa and a Wukong ban against from Wisteria against RIT. Gonna lock in Ari. Looks like that's all three. That's what I've been told is all three of their champ pool. Is it like a possible weak point in the team possibly? Or is it just, what they have left to do? Mhm. It looks like a Pantheon and a Warwick pick as well. Not too much of a front line happening up on blue side. You know, Warwick is somewhat tanky with his E being able to grant him that damage reduction, but, you know, still not like a traditional tank. Definitely more of a cheese pick in the top lane. But wait, no, it's probably jungle. Yeah, Pantheon top. And finally, our pick is gonna be Nami as their support player, as their support pick.
Okay.
Definitely is possible. You know, I've not been following the meta too much recently. I'm kind of more of a retired ranked and competitive player, but I can definitely see how she benefits a lot from this patch. You know, the extra movement speed given on moving allies when winning the feats of strength, and also just like enchanter items being in a relatively decent good spot right now. Yeah, there's definitely a lot more damage heavy of enchanters, surprisingly. Especially for Nami. Although we have to watch out for the Breath of Life from Melio being able to counter the bubble and also just removing any of the slows that might come from tidal wave. Right. So we're gonna have a little bit of a delay here between, you know, actually picking up our champions and also getting into game. Just because that's just how the standard spectator delay works. So I guess just sort of talking about the game plan. You said it was mostly just going to be sort of like letting mid lane chill and sort of pick up farm where they can, and mostly depending on the top and bot laners to really bring home the game. Alright. Let's see. It was Skarner Camille, or no, Skarner Gwen against Warwick and Pantheon on the top side. As far as I'm aware, they might have a bit of an earlier advantage because of the Warwick pick. That is a pretty strong early game champion, especially in 1v1 duels, and even in maybe even 2v2 duels. And obviously, Gwen, definitely a bit more of a late game scaler, looking for that percent max HP shred and scaling with stacking with that AP and true damage.
Yeah.
So maybe have to see how well she can pull out that top lane. Let's see. All right. How about you tell us a bit more about like how Wisteria's been? I know they had a performance at Waterloo in their LAN tournament,
Ooh.
and like what have you guys been doing to prepare? Because I've you are a substitute player for them, are you not?
I am, but I have not. I didn't start playing with them a lot more until recently. I do hear things about how they're performing now and then, and I think they're generally doing really well together as a team. They don't practice as much as your general, like your typical team, because it is their first year playing together. It is also Western's first year having a GC League of Legends team, so that's very new. As for Waterland, originally they signed up for the GC tournament, but what ended up happening was that there wasn't enough teams who signed up for GC. Actually, there were no other GC teams, so they were put
Oh,
into the open division instead. And they generally put up pretty well against all the other, challenger masters players. So pretty really really proud of them for that.
all right. Another couple minutes here, probably just to wait for the spectator delay now.
Mhm.
But okay, let's see. I wonder how well or how much the Otacon spawn is going to be changing competitive play this year,
Mhm.
especially with the permanent buffs that it's able to give, and the fact that it can change forms depending on, of course, like how much teams have been fighting, which in pro play or competitive settings is typically going to be less than your average solo queue game.
Mhm. That is true. Honestly, and I don't have the full grasp over how the Otacon is working just yet, so I'm gonna leave all that commentary to you.
I have
But
my
yeah.
speculations, but yeah, I have not
Mhm.
been in the competitive scene back in for this season just yet.
Yeah, so what do you know about the recent changes to the maps, the items, and the system and everything so far?
I think they're really good changes in general for like the I guess the state of the game. I know some people were really really disliking the feats of strength and having the first blood being a criteria for one of them.
Right, so they actually made that adjustment recently because so many people were complaining about it. They I don't wanna call it a nerf, but they made a system adjustment where instead of just getting first blood, it's the first team to get 3 kills, I
First,
think.
yeah, three
Yeah.
takedowns.
Mhm, so that's pretty good. Honestly, I generally think, like, the buffs you get from the feats, like, pardon my language, are pretty dog shit.
Yeah, they're
Like,
they're pretty
it's
minimal. It's
yeah.
definitely it's just something nice to put on top. It's not
Mhm.
necessarily
Like, it's really
game
not worth
defining.
inting for like, inting the objectives to get, especially with the grubs, because I know with the grubs, like, as long as you take one of them, the other team would not get the progression for the feat. So, what I have been seeing a lot in the ranked scene is junglers, mid laners, whatever, just, like, flashing in to take one grub and then inting away shutdown gold for it. So, I don't really think it's not worth. And also the 750 gold like boots. Maybe 3 of them are like worth the upgrade, but the rest of them not really.
Yeah, not all they're not all equally upgradable, unfortunately, because yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes I in my opinion, the Magic Pen one seems really strong because you get percent Magic Pen
Mm.
on it. But I've heard a lot of people say that's really bait because it's like obviously it's the way percent works is more of an additive rather than a multiplicative
Mhm.
manner.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And so you get less value. But it does still seem really strong, and you obviously have the Swifty Boots upgrade, giving you
Mhm.
percent movement speed, and
But the upgrade
that
itself is
that in
still very
itself is
minimal.
so strong.
Is it though for Swifties? I feel like it's not that worth still. Like you're better off getting another item for movement speed.
Yeah, I mean, of course, but if you're only limited to so many item slots, so it's just having
Yeah,
a
you're right.
percent total buff on just one item that you're already going to have in your build,
Mhm.
that's pretty strong.
Okay, you know what? That's fair. That's a fair argument.
And in terms of item reworks, I know that Unending Despair was hit with a nerf, which is
Mhm.
pretty strong. Just
Yeah, that
being
actually knocks
unable to build directly with
yeah, it
armor.
knocks things like Maokai Top out of the not, I don't want to say viable picks, but one more of the stronger picks. It also indirectly gives a really big nerf to the Volley Bear because I do know that Volley Bear used to build Unending Despair into Warmogs. They also like indirectly nerfed Warmogs by making it like I don't want to say more expensive to purchase, but you do need more health to purchase. So it's like the trade off is not amazing.
But they did add back a percent on HP back, actually. It's like a percent HP buff from all sources on Warmugs, which is kind of crazy for like health stacking champions if you're ever going to buy Heartsteel
Mhm.
and you're just looking to stack up just more and more and more.
Mhm.
In terms of what I'm most excited to see how this new season's changed in terms of how pro play could be affected is as a support player is actually going to be Deep Ward, Grizzly Mementos, and which one is the last one where it automatically reveals the ward? Makes sense. All right, looks like we're having a couple of technical difficulties when it comes to getting into the game. So
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna cut away for a little second and see if we
Yep.
can figure that out.
So we're just gonna quickly take a break and we will be right back.
Right, looks like we're back in. We're gonna be able to see all along with the game this time around. And looks like a couple kills have already gone down. We're out here is 1-1.
Mm-hmm. So far, looking good for both sides.
Trying to catch up from what happened. Looks like we just got a kill in terms of Wisteria getting a kill on the Aphelios in the bot lane, but first blood did go to the Pantheon on top side of the map. The Skarner was first blood.
I'm going to assume it might be a case of Skarner going in to grab Scuttle and Pantheon rotating down, possibly?
Yeah, Scuttle fight, it looks like because Warwick and Syndra had an assist on that kill, so it's just definitely a collapse from two laners plus the jungler, and Syria just didn't have the space to move along and support that out. Alright, so it looks like, both teams are playing relatively safe, looking for that vision to be set up and, really being protected against ganks. And looking to hopefully scale up to a point where Jinx and Gwen can start really popping off, but also Syndra and Aphelios as well. Like Gwen was possibly spotted on knowing that Strider's Bloom is going to reveal her. And it looks like they're just going to they're forced to give up grubs. Junglers on the bot side. They're looking for a dive possibly in the bot lane.
Yep. And I don't think the dive is successful. Yep, they're just pushing in the wave and rotating over to take dragon, while Warwick is topside getting the grubbies.
Yep. A little bit of a cross map played, trade for trade, objective for objective.
Yeah, that's fine. That's honestly a good decision.
Works is looking like they're gonna run straight down. Oh, okay, they changed their mind. for a little bit of an invade, seeing to see if their topside camps are up, which he is able to find the Raptors. A little bit of a just wave clear by mid laners.
Okay, we see Phoebe going into the enemy jungle to really capitalize on knowing that Warwick is currently topside. Actually, can't tell if they have been regular jungling or vertically jungling just yet. There does seem to be vision on her. But we do make it out. Awesome.
Garner was spotted, but you know, Syndra alone can't really do too much against the tank this
That's for
early
sure.
on in the game. Top lane is kind of, you know, top lane experience known as getting zoned out by your opponent for simply for them simply having 1 kill above you.
Or not even, sometimes it's not even 1 kill, sometimes it's just having a few more like CS or experience and all of a sudden you can't do anything anymore. No more walking up.
Top lane experience the whole time. Alright, let's take a look at a lot now since I would have liked to have done during the loading screen. We see that Pantheon has Ignite, opting to trade away the teleport. So Wisteria is indeed on a teleport advantage. Melio opting for the heal instead of Exhaust or Ignite. A little bit more defensive possibly, but if anyone's getting caught out in terms of, Ahri's rushing in, Skarner's rushing in, or even Gwen, there's not going to be an Exhaust to be able to counter any of that engage and that damage. A little bit of a little fight breaking out, trying to defend that ward, trying to open up a spot for Warwick to come in.
Yeah, it seems like Syndra's also looking downwards. Oh, and going back to mid lane. Not seeing an opportunity. Alright, now we have Aquatic walking into the enemy blue side. Presumably looking for Warwick or trying to set up any vision.
Definitely at least getting a little bit of information about what camps are up and where Warwick has to be. So knowing that there's nothing up top side, Warwick has to be bot side to do anything of value. Ahri's gonna walk in and see if she can spot anything in the bot side jungle. Doesn't spot anything just yet. He is camping out in the tri-bush. Pops the Blood Hunt. He's trying to walk in. Is able to pop off the Azaril's Aphelios Moonlight Vigil comes out.
Yeah, Nami does not make it
force
out.
flash.
Wow. Okay. I think what could have been done there by the Nami is as soon as Warwick has been spotted out on the board there. Oh!
Aggressive flash coming from the Warwick, looking to get a kill on Jinx between the two towers. Wins the kill and ain't nothing happening for it.
It's a very aggressive dive coming in from blue side.
Maybe blue side just knew the information. Skarner was not anywhere in the bot side. Syndra holding and even in fact looks like solo killing the Ahri in the mid lane. And they just have nothing to defend with. It's just the Jinx, one lonely ADC, getting ADC momented.
Yep, the experience. Yeah, I think the slight frustrating thing about that is that Warwick was indeed sitting in the bot lane rush for quite a while before finding in the perfect time as our Nami and Jinx pushed up the wave. I think Pantheon smells something. Okay, waiting for Pantheon to back. Currently we have no idea where Pantheon is. Ahri also rotating over to Grubs, and I think they decide to not take it. That'll be 6 Grubs going in to the blue side.
6 Grubs is gonna make tower pushing and just getting more, map control and opening up the game a little bit just that much easier.
Right, so right now, but in terms of looking at the Feast of Strength, I think blue side is one objective away from taking the boot upgrades.
Yeah, they got first blood. They
yeah, the first 3.
3 kills, first 3. Yeah. Yeah, 2 objectives on Grubs and only lost 1 dragon.
Yep,
and
so they are
6
one
Grubs,
away.
first tower is going to be a lot easier to take.
Yeah. Though not that I do not see any of them being super close to taking a tower just yet, so I
Looks
believe.
like Warwick landed an ulti in the mid lane, and that's gonna be not a kill as Spirit Rush is gonna be
But
able to save
Dragon
that
will
Ahri.
has to be handed over along with the Beast of Strength.
Scatter kills! Scatter with the Comets kills. A little bit greedy from our Ahri players, overstaying just a little bit too long.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and with the Drake Hextech Drake down, that does mean Feast of Strength is going to go towards the blue team, immediately upgrading their boots for some minor stats, but also opting, giving them the ability to upgrade those boots later for a bit more stats in the late game.
Yeah. Right now, this season 15 looking super snowbally, as games are also attempt to be longer.
Warwick's being cautious for a dive in the backside. He is almost gonna be found out by Skarner. Spotted.
Mm-hmm.
A little fight's gonna break down in the bot lane. Syndra is gonna rotate over. Emilio's already
Yeah.
moving. Doesn't get the last
Okay,
hit over the wall.
RETP coming over.
RETP all the way
Don't
down.
think
Scatter
they're
comes
going to
down.
decide to fight this one.
Just gonna look to push them out and hopefully give themselves some more space to be able to farm again. But it looks like they are setting up a trap. Scatter comes down, stuns the Ahri, but nothing to come after it. No follow-up.
Okay. Yeah, so as I said earlier, either this is going to be a lot of skirmishes on the top side or straight up playing for bot side, and I think this game we do see that Warwick is opting to play a lot more for the bottom two instead of the top, as Aquatic does seem to be pushed in under tower most of the time. The top lane
But you know,
experience.
top lane experience, but I think that's where she's gonna be most comfortable, just being able to pick up that farm safely and scale up into the late game.
That is true, that is true. I think Gwen will become stronger than Pantheon later on by mid game.
Like Pantheon's gonna look for a little bit of a roaming opportunity, while Gwen is forced to push the wave back. Not gonna miss out on much, but is able to get some vision onto the red side, top side jungle.
Yep, Aquatic will have to back after this before Warwick shows up. Hopefully she gets back home in time. I think both are searching for where she is. Oh?
A little bit of a pause coming out. Looks like mid laner Pikachu playing Ahri. Looks like they are having some technical difficulties.
Probably some internet issues, I presume. Okay, so what do you think of the game state so far? Right now we are about 4k gold behind, and with the Feast of Strength given. Oh, and I think the technical difficulties are fine.
But you're right back. Definitely is going to be a little bit of a harder game state for Wisteria to play in, knowing that they are not in the lead. But, you know, they have some good catch potential. They have the Spirit Rush able to maybe land the Charm. They have Skarner able to dive in, maybe get like a possible big 3-man ulti. And, you know, in terms of engage on blue side, it really is just either fishing for a scatter on that Syndra or Warwick and Pantheon just literally ulting in and praying that their team follows up.
Yeah, it does seem like we have a better potential for team play here. The two ADCs is also a battle.
Had the information that Skarner was going to be bot side. Warwick and Pantheon deciding to go for a dive on the Aquatic. Looks like they got the kill, got the first tower. Able to basically get away scot-free because so far nothing has happened for the blue side bot laners.
They may be looking for a dive here. I think will be quite unlikely.
And with no wave,
no dive.
Didn't happen. Looks like Pantheon was going to move to possibly cover if he needed to enter in with that Grand Starfall. And looks like it's kind of just sort of a handshake in the mid lane, clearing the waves,
And establishing a little more vision in the enemy jungle here. Making it a little safer for bot lane to push in their wave.
Being 16 minutes, looks like the Rift Herald is now up. And unfortunately, Wisteria is not in any position to be able to go fight for it. War's already in the top side. Skarner is opting to opt for vision, possibly in the bot side jungle. They've already started up. Spirit
Have
is
Nami
doing their best to...
possibly.
Ooh, Nami is possibly caught out.
No, she makes it back. The towers are right there. Quada coming in to
Coming
maybe
in.
save the day.
Indian doesn't have his passive up. Ari comes over with Spirit Rush. Is holding on to the charm, it looks like. Spirit Rush one more time to get out. As Sindra comes in, although Scatter doesn't find anyone. Like it's going to be a contest for mid priority, as Dragon is also going to be coming up soon. And with the Herald possibly going to be dropped, it could just be opening up the mid lane. Infinite Duress forces the flash out from the Jinx. Neon is going to be able to jump, find that Navi. No longer has flash, is able to drop the tidal wave. Is going to be able to live. Ari Charm does land, but no, there is simply not enough damage to do anything. Lucid's going to have a very big positional advantage. He's going to have... just going to take Dragon, second drag for them. Possibly a mid lane tower as well. Indian's going to straight top lane, going to look to defend that tower, giving Wisteria no room to make any moves on the map.
No, Wisteria seems to be in a very tight spot here. Bot lane seems to be slightly even, still given the fact that our Jinx is about 30 CS behind. Our jungler is super behind. I think that they do need to farm a little bit more, but I don't think they got the chance with all the fights going on. Aphelios picking off Nami.
The flash in the very
Teams
vulnerable
coming in.
position.
Decided to back off.
Able to leap down a turret, and there's simply just no follow-up. No re-engage possible from this. Not a whole lot of kills have happened this game. Only 8 kills from both sides, but it's definitely just, you know, if you're just not in a position to fight for these objectives, then you know, that's really what's going to be defining who gets the lead in this game. Next objective is going to be the Otacon at 20 minutes. In 1 minute, looks like he's going to be opting to spawn in the bot lane. Not quite too sure what the spawning rules of which version of the Otacon. Looks like Scatter is going to find a Linda recalling, and with the Unleashed Power, it's going to be a free pick. Drop the Heralds, and that's going to trap a bot side, I believe.
I believe it is going to go bot side, while 3, 4, including Pantheon, will be pushing in mid wave. And both mid and bot tower will be going down here.
Red side's not looking to respond. 2 towers, the inner towers are going to go down. Skarner possibly in a little rough position, has to eat through the wall. Impale comes out, catches 2, but there just isn't a team to follow up on the damage. Inferno Dress catches the Jinx, and 2 fall down, and the tower. Otacon spawns. Looks like blue side's going to look for a little bit of a reset before opting to take the objective. It's going to be a pretty big goal swing. That's a lot of momentum, a lot of possible, you know, snowballing effects going into this like as the game starts to get later. Len is able to catch one possible objective bounty here, but that just might not be enough to bring him back. Len's gonna look for a 1v1 in his top side. Use all 3 needleworks already, and under the tower, but just barely not enough damage. Could have been a possible huge shutdown and win. Looks like Gracious Otacon was taken, granting them a one-time temporary revive, but also just a permanent increase in kill gold. Be a lot of potential momentum swing with the revives. Although, yes, it does send you back to base, but just being able to instantly come back into a fight, walk back, and, if you're trading one for one, then you just have an extra person up for that time period.
Right, it'd be very beneficial for Syndra here, just giving up her life, respawning instantly, and then TPing back into the fight.
Looks like the map's going to be pretty dark for Wisteria, not really able to see out where the movements are. Aquatic
Aquatic
decides to hop
might be
over the
get caught
wall.
off
There
here.
is 3 in the jungle. Might be able to catch somebody walking through. Gonna find the Aphelios. Is gonna be instantly rooted by Graviton, and she's forced to leave. Despite the fact that she is Gwen and could not be immune to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can see how the Milio Aphelios in the bot lane making RDC very oppressive with the extra range coming from Milio.
Is what the chance of Emilio is, especially combining with Caitlyn or Jinx, just even to give the long-range champions extra range. Scatter's difficult to poke out. Not really looking for an engage there. And him tower is going to fall to the Aphelios.
Wisteria unable to re-engage.
And the rest is going to find a long-range engage onto the Jinx. The bubble comes down, is able to interrupt and save him, but possibly it's just not going to be enough. They're separated under the tower. And in him falls, Jinx falls. It just might be looking to close out the game here.
I think it's quite possible for the game to be closing out right now. With one of their only sources of damage down.
Archard is able to find a Syndra, forcing a flash, and then going in by himself. Needlemore coming up with one. Third strike out. Forces the GA. Trading a life for life as he took out the Nami.
Oh, we see.
Flash forward is not able to find anything. Unfortunately, Surrender does fall. Elliott's looking for that that Calibron snipe on the Q, but doesn't seem like he was able to find it. Now, Warwick and Pantheon did die during that battle, but they did make use of the Atacon buff and got the insta-res. So they're still going to be in a pretty healthy place to still go for more objectives and more plays on the map.
You see the blue side starting to prepare for Dragon. Warwick already starting the Dragon. And while Wisteria is forced to... Is this Soul? No, not yet. It'll be Soul Point.
Not quite yet. This is third Dragon for RAT, and it's going to be Soul Point on the next Dragon. Baron's also coming up in a minute here, and so we're going to see if either team starts to make any positional plays to see what they can do for it.
I don't see any rotations coming in from Wisteria, while RIT does seem to be setting up some vision from Syndra.
Wisteria is going to be in a very difficult spot as 2 inhibs are down, mid inhib and bot inhib. Those waves are automatically going to push themselves. They're going to need to be able to respond to it and find some sort of time in order to find, some angle and opportunity to contest. Nami's going to walk straight into a Syndra scatter, hold on to that ultimate maybe, forces a flash out. They do live, but it does make another Nami flashless. Warwick is looking for some sort of hop in. Where a big Impale catches the Syndra. She is out of position, is gonna fall, find a pick, shut down. Pantheon ulting in the backline, does find the Nami. The Q is not gonna be able to finish off the starter, but he is just gonna kind of brain scatter Wisteria as he has to make 3 different fronts now. And RIT is gonna be able to clean up the team fight. They're just too far ahead, too strong, and a little bit out position. Just a single starter with no ulti, no flash. Left to defend the base. Gonna charge in, see what he can do.
Not much.
Stuns into roots.
Wow, Perma CC'd.
Perma CC'd, and that's maybe game number 1 going to RIT.
Alright, so that will be the first game. Any thoughts, Ricky?
Definitely a little bit of an unfortunate game. Granted, of course, we're a little biased, but we are supporting for Wisteria, given that they are the Western team. But I do think that RIT did definitely deserve that win. They played positionally very well. They made use of their picks and their timings and the lead that they had.
So we probably will see the next game. They'll also be trying to ban out our mid laner, seeing the drastic drop in power ability from Wisteria after those bans.
All right, and we'll see if Wisteria is gonna pull up any new tactics when it comes to game two.
Mm-hmm.
It is a best of three, so if RIT does win the next game, it is unfortunately means that they do claim the series,
Mm-hmm. But hey, we never know. Maybe Wisteria will bring back another game and making it to the third.
making it to the third game.
Okay.
All right, a little bit of a unfortunate game. That's what
Mm-hmm.
we'll chop it up to be.
Yeah, that's fine. Just excited for the second one. Unfortunately, we didn't really get to see what happened with the first two kills. I think what might also help with Syria is setting up more vision in the enemy jungle.
Yeah, it's just gonna be having to work together as the support. Unfortunately, playing as an enchanter doesn't means that they can't walk in by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit more work between the support and the jungler, walking together, really having an idea of what objectives and where they want to be ahead of time.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure. Alrighty, so I assume that they're currently setting up the next game. It'll be just a few more minutes before we get to pull up the pick and bans. Right, so while we wait for that to happen, we'll take a short break and be right back. welcome back. It's a short break there. I think they're getting their lobby now set up, and
Right,
mhm,
and the champ select. We're just waiting on just to set up the draft link, and then we'll get to see what happens. A little bit of an
mhm,
unfortunate last fight from the last game. We did see it was like starting off really well for Wisteria getting a pick, but unfortunately the collapse from both sides, from Pantheon ulting in and Warwick, just a little bit too much, a little bit too much for the team.
mhm. Yeah, the Warwick landing most of his ultimates, especially like between the two towers a few times, is not that fun.
Uh, that's uh that's the prime bot lane experience.
For real, for real. All right, let's see. So we have our pick ban screen up. Doesn't seem like any team has made any decisions yet. Excited to see what RT will be banning out from us this time.
Yeah, new game, new slate. RIT looks like
Mhm.
they are on blue side again, and Wisteria opting for red side. I believe that's their choice, right? It should be losers picks the second game. So they're looking for possibly a counter pick option. Last last draft didn't really end up using the power of the counter pick, opting for a last pick on Nami. But maybe this time
Mhm.
around they're looking to opt a little bit more power into the top lane pick.
Mhm. That's for sure. Yeah, according to some insider information here, it is their first game back um into this season, brushing off some of the rust. Unfortunately, a lot of the early plays, especially from the Warwick, as well as the skirmishes in top lane, trickled into a harder mid and late game. And I think the original thought was to play towards a stronger late game comp, as League of Legends has, season 15 has made it more of a snowbally gameplay. Most games, minimum going from like 20, 25 minutes into 40, 50 minutes. So I think the original hope was for Wisteria to pick a bunch of late game champs and snowball into that. Unfortunately, it was a lot more difficult from the Warwick. Um,
Yeah, just
Now that they have learned more about their opponent's playstyle with all the early stuff, they are hoping to go into game two with a better sense of how to play against their early skirmishes, and as well as securing their ideal win conditions.
yeah. That's where you can blame it on the Feast of Strength. It's because they got the boots upgrade that they won. Come on.
Yeah, so Ricky, what do you expect from Wisteria next game? Like, what adjustments do you think they should make?
I definitely think that they do need a little bit more power somewhere in the early game. Whether that means a bully in the top lane, whether that means a bit more of a less passive mid lane style. It's just something that can, really contest anything on the map.
hmm I think they can for sure get a less passive mid lane if Syndra doesn't get banned out. Looks like they started with a Lulu ban coming from RT and then banning out the Camille again from Aquatic. Cassante and Udi are taken away from RT. I think they talked about this. Someone on their team being Stinky Udyr player.
Seraphim ban. So far, it just looks like a repeat of bans from the last game. I don't think anything new has popped up just yet.
hmm It seems that they are leaving Syndra open for Pikachu in the mid lane here. Seraphine once again gone. Locking in the Aphelios. I think they'll probably be looking to lock in Melio later too. Okay, both ADC picks are down.
The Jinx pick.
Same thing so far in the bot lane.
Looks like, it's going to be another standard competitive drafting style. ADC into
hmm
ADC jungle. Should be jungle and support here. We'll see if that's what comes true. They had a really solid, looks like a solid lane last game, so they just could repeat the Melio again.
hmm
Although it would have been
Alright, let's
interesting if
see.
Wisteria opted to steal it and play Melio Jinx.
Yeah, though I do not think our support player plays a lot of Melia, so that would probably be off the Bugs. Oh, RT locking in Gwen and taking that away from Aquatic. Wow.
Yeah, it looks like there
No,
was a Pantheon ban, so they decided to change up what's going on in the top lane.
mm-hmm. Just didn't think that they'd be taking our Gwen away.
No,
Out of all
I believe
decisions they could have made.
Aquatic surely has some cooking to do against the her own champion.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure.
Opting for the mid lane and top lane both shown here. It's
God
gonna be
damn.
another Ari pick counter, or not really counter. It's just sort of like a handshake in the middle between the two control mages.
mm-hmm. Okay, they banned out the Melio this time.
Right, so at least it's gonna be something a little bit different in the bot lane. It's gonna be changed up.
Mm-hmm. So far, the first three picks have remained the same. Now we're just looking to see what Aquatic will be locking into.
No longer really need to save the counter pick for top lane because they've already shown both their solo laners, so they could counter pick the support too now.
Mm-hmm.
Rarl gonna be banned out. That's a really strong engaged champion that they must play. They must seem to play if they're willing to ban it so much.
Yeah. Though I don't think we have a role player on the team, so that is quite surprising. Unless, our support has been doing some behind the camera, behind the scene training
Some
that
secret
we don't
trading
know.
on a different account
Well, no, not on
to hide
different
the
account,
stats,
same
hide the
account. I
stats,
just
hide the
haven't checked.
stats.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't done my stalking yet.
All right, we're gonna see a Janna ban. That's
hmm
definitely I've heard good things about Janna actually. Being relatively strong in this meta, especially with Axiom Arcanus, just being able to get a flat 12% healing on her ultimate. Gonna be a Nami ban. Gonna force up two different supports this time around. It's gonna be a Leona pick. Not opting to counter pick the support pick,
hmm Okay, Yona.
but looking for some engage is definitely a good option.
Yeah. I think Leona alt paired in with the Skarner alt would be pretty good.
It's gonna look for a Renata Glass pick. Not a whole lot to really counter with the ultimate so far, other than just as a counter engage. Not a whole lot of auto attacking champions per se.
hmm
It's gonna be a Scion. Likely that means it's gonna be a Gwen jungle. That was a flex pick, and then it's gonna be a Scion top.
Okay, it seems that our support Ixui does not play a whole lot of Leona. There has been more games on Rel and Milio in comparison to Leona.
Ooh. And we're gonna see a Fiora pick.
That wow,
Haven't seen Aquatic
pure.
play that one in a long time, but
And that is
I
true. That
believe.
I also believe this is something to behold for. We are seeing a lot of CC coming in from RT, so the parry from Fiora would be pretty strong.
All right, let's see.
All right.
Let's see if this
Any
game can
thoughts on
change
the
out a little
picks?
differently. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, they opted for a lot more front power, less scaling. Fiora is going to do pretty well into Scion, hopefully. Hopefully, that
Mm-hmm.
is going to be the bully champ that we were kind of talking about.
Yeah. Does give
Definitely,
us a little more energy into the early game, especially with Leona and Fiora.
yeah. And it could possibly solve another problem of getting that, establishing that vision. Leona is a lot more of a safe champion to walk into bushes, walk into areas by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Although, of course, they are just the support, so if there is enough damage, if there's enough people, it could still be a catch up, but
Hey, I
definitely a
mean
lot
it's
safer.
Leona. Okay, it's Leona. Like surely she doesn't take that much damage.
That's what we're hoping anyways.
Yes, that is indeed. Okay.
Interesting to see how this Gwen jungle is gonna play out. Definitely scaling into the later half of the game, but should
Mhm.
be relatively okay at taking objectives. But the ganking power just isn't going to be there.
Mhm. That is true. Okay, we did that. The enemy bot lane locked into Renata to slightly counter out the Leona. It
I think
does
it's
bring.
definitely
It does take away a bit of the engage opportunity because that one Renata ability that kind of like throws you away.
yeah, the handshake.
Mhm.
She has her own hook of sorts, but it's
Mhm.
definitely I think the power is more so into the hostile takeover, her ultimate. So
Mhm. Yeah, that's for
in
sure.
the mid games, wherever there's a team fight, as soon as they see the Leona E come out, the Zenith Blade, or possibly the Skarner trying to dive in, it's just you send out that wave, and you just literally force the enemy team to fight each other as
Right, that is true.
your team is able to get maybe a better position, and look for a different kind of fight.
Yeah, it'll be a really strong counter for a team that wants to play around team play, want to play together into RIT. So we'll see how that plays out. Hey, I'm just saying, as long as Jinx is not in the ultimate, surely.
Yeah, that's true. That you are right. It's not going to do a whole lot of damage. That's the thing, unless Jinx is caught in
Mhm.
it. But it's
Mhm.
definitely just about the CC buying a little bit of
Mhm.
time, and maybe looking for that re-engage afterwards.
Yeah,
That's
that's
really
for
what it's going to
sure.
be.
Okay. I'm excited to see how the early game plays out now that there's like a whole switch into the comp they're looking for.
I just hope
Between the
a
oh,
little bit of
yep.
a better performance from Wisteria this time around.
Mhm. So between the two teams, who do you think has a higher potential into snowballing into late game?
Snowballing into the late game, unfortunately, it does seem to be that RIT opted for a later game.
Mhm.
Sion's going to be able to infinitely stack HP, whether they
Mhm.
opt for Heartsteel or not. Um, Gwen is obviously going to be a late game menace, so
Mhm. That's for
she's
sure.
going to be able to shred that Skarner. The pick is
As well as
pretty,
Leona.
yeah, as well as Leona. The ADCs obviously are late game forward anyways,
Mhm.
so that's always going to be the case.
Mhm.
We'll just have to see if Wisteria could have a separate game plan for the late game, which is just
Mhm.
maybe going to be hoping to give Aquatic some space to split push on Fiora, because that champion can take towers so fast, like it's
That is
crazy.
true. Yeah. Okay, I am excited. The
Right.
slight 180.
Right. We're gonna head into a little bit of an intermission here as we look to get ourselves into the game. All right, we'll be right back.
Okay, welcome back. We're just loading into the game right now. Give us a few seconds there.
Yeah, and we kind of skipped past the spectator delay, and man, the 3 minutes between spectator delay and the actual game start is crazy. All
Okay,
right,
starting the game.
looks like both
Oh.
teams are kind of opting for this. Ooh, just kidding. RIT's now off for a 5-man into the first bush. Gonna look for a ward and scanner possibly.
Okay,
And
they're
red
walking
side is
into.
just stacking together in Try Bush. Doesn't look like RIT's gonna find anything, so they're just gonna hit a reset and go back to possibly a 5 point. Now, of course, Wisteria doesn't know a whole lot of information either, so they're kind of just sitting around twiddling their thumbs as well. Ari is able to get a vision onto the Raptors, so we might be able to at least see where they start.
It does look like our team might be starting our red side. Oh, nope, going back into blue,
Just
just
looking for
putting
some
down
vision as
vision.
well. Just looking for some vision.
Yeah. Both sides probably will now be finding out where the jungler is. A little bit of damage on our Leona.
Yeah, a little bit of an unfair trade as they were already sitting in the bush.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna be
Yeah,
another
the
sort
early
of
little bit of
handshake.
a few auto attacks on Ixby well makes it a little harder for them to engage on level 2.
Most likely, they're gonna have to give up that level 2 opportunity just because it's gonna be a double ranged into a, obviously into a tank.
Mm-hmm.
Junglers are onto their second camp now, so blue side knows that Skarner didn't start top side, so they should know that he's gonna be clearing from bot to top, giving priority towards that Fiora, and should also know that the Glen is in the top side still. That Raptors ward is still there, and haven't seen Glen appear yet. A little bit of a trade, good parry onto the auto attack. Glen's gonna look for a little bit of invade here. Well, bot side. A lot of poke coming out from RIT's bot lane here. Forcing both potions to be used from red side. Like, a lot of stuff is going to happen in our top side jungle here. A lot of positioning. 3 members of blue side already in the jungle, waiting for the starter to start the red buff. The cancel,
The early
cancel,
vision.
dash cancel, scatter stun into first blood.
Oh, that is
First blood for
rough. Yeah, there's
RIT.
a lot of vision set up in our red jungle. I think they probably had that idea in mind as they early walked into our red side around minute 20.
That seems like it was a pre-planned game plan from RIT. That was in their books.
Yeah, you know what? That's something we might be able to pick up.
Aquatic is opting to use the parry in lane for trades, but Glen's about to come in here, ghosting. With a dash in, looking for a trade maybe. Aquatic is also gonna pop the ghost. Is able to dodge the estimating charge. And might just be able to walk out. Ooh,
Oh, no.
EQ from Glen. Snip her to bits. Fortunately, Aquatic is going to be intimately familiar with the getting shredded to bits, I would say. And mid lane's not for a reset. Looks like they had a couple bad trades as well, getting poked out, half mana, half HP.
PB is getting their XP back in the enemy red side. I think they're targeting the hell out of Aquatic
TP
here.
back, and just for the Gwen to re-gank. Vitals are in a bad position here. Parry comes out a little too early, not blocking anything. And IQ is able to pick up knocked up, and Gwen's gonna be able to pick up another kill.
And that will be the first Feast of Strength to RIT.
That's gonna be, yeah, that's all 3 kills. 3
That
to
is
0.
a rough start.
Unfortunately, yeah. 5 minutes in, and a 2k gold lead already to blue side. First objective is gonna spawn. Dragon is up now. Looks like Starter's already opting to start for it, potentially.
Okay, I believe Phoebe will be trying to plate for bot side here once again, and RIT is targeting the hell out of Aquatic. See a bit of a mid fight going on here. Haki unknowing that Wisteria is currently on Dragon. I don't think she walks down far enough to gain vision on the Dragon pit.
But not much for the cross map plays. They gave that priority to top lane, so Wisteria is going to respond with a play of their own, taking the Dragon.
Both Phoebe and Iceberry backing on vision.
Bit of an interrupt. Ruin their tempo, as people would say, a little bit, as Glenn is going to start up that grubs.
No vision on the pit so far.
Not really in any position to contest, as the jungle and support for Wisteria do receive as well. Is getting surprising lot of poke off onto the Fiora here, as the support moved up from the bot lane. Both supporters into the jungle. 2v2 fight happening, breaking out over the Raptor camp.
Arya will be a little bit late.
Arya's gonna be a little bit late. Scatter comes out, does find the Leona, is gonna be picked onto the Leona kill. Charm does land onto the Gwen, but it doesn't have enough damage between Skarner and Arya to finish up the kill. Sion is gonna be covering as well from another position on the point. And with that, they get the Raptor camp, get a kill, and are able to reset.
It seems like the slightly early power composition isn't working too well in Wisteria's favor. They might be still looking for a power play later on. Bit of a trade going on bot lane. Both sides backing off.
It's gonna be it's not that Wisteria doesn't have late game power, because they do have Jinx, the pick potential between how their team is set up, and Fiora does do damage, is a duelist, pretty strong duelist, but we'll have to see just how they if they can reach it, and if they can reach their item spikes, how they play it out. Decimating Smash is gonna be able to get that damage, and Fiora is gonna pop a parry, not really blocking much, but a good attempt nonetheless. Able to dodge that Decimating Smash this time around, but it definitely looks like Fiora's gonna get a little bullied out this time around. No objectives up on the map at the moment, so it's just laners are just gonna be playing their lane accordingly and just sort of handshaking. Parry! Ooh! Used a little too early, which guarantees the stun on the Decimating Smash. And uses the knockup on his ult and does claim a solo kill. Well, unfortunate timing on the parry on the Fiora.
I think if Aquatic got that parry off there, would have been a solo kill in our favor.
Yeah, absolutely. Stun would have been enough.
RT taking away some vision, and IXP reestablishing the same vision. It doesn't seem that they have a ward in the river, so
here's looking
Phoebe looking for a gank
here. Looking for that flash engage from the Leona, is able to get that handshake though. Not able to protect much. Impale forces a flash from the Aphelios, and Jinx kind of just free-wailing from the back with the auto attacks, but that is going to be a flash from the Aphelios and a pretty good disengage from the Nana. And sort of just camping around in the jungle. Aquatic playing some defense, trying to prevent some stealing happening, but is not going to spot her out. And Gwen's going to freely move into the jungle, take that red buff.
But Phoebe is going back into her red side and might catch Gwen taking the red buff. Oh, maybe a little Probably a little bit too slow. Doesn't see that the red buff is taken. Goes for Krugs first.
Gwen pops right over the wall, right into the Skarner. Is able to smite steal that away. Is gonna pop the followed mist. Is gonna find herself between Fiora and Skarner, but is able to hop over the wall. Safety. A little scot-free theft going on topside jungle.
Yeah. I think they're better off going for a vertical jungle here, but Aquatic is having a bit of a rough game with Gwen, repeatedly ganking her twice in the first 5 minutes.
Okay, next objective is going to be Grubs. Like the first one to take it.
Yep, and that will
yeah,
once again
Wisteria's
be all
opting
6
to...
Krugs. Oh, sorry,
yeah.
Grubbies to RIT.
Here's opting to hand up the top side of the map and maybe just go for a cross-map play. That could mean taking Dragon, but they'd have to be able to do it fast, or just maybe they get contested.
Nope.
Gwen is gonna finish off that Grubs and is
again.
gonna instantly run top lane, popping the Ghost, popping the Needlework. If you're already used her Grand Challenge, and is gonna fall.
Yeah, we see the play here. Bami putting up the tent for top lane, really playing for the Scion here to ensure the late game snowball. And Wisteria grabbing
Able to
the
claim
second
just
dragon.
a little bit back with 2 dragons. Does look like first
PB.
tower is gonna go down.
Yep, PB is currently on vision, trying to escape from the RT bot lane. Syndra.
Play going on top lane. Ari's gonna Spirit Rush in, is able to find the charm, but is gonna take a lot of damage in return from the web. And Perry is not gonna find it on his estimated stash. Is gonna come around and find a kill on the Glen. Shut down 1.
Okay, do you think they're gonna look for the Scion? I think they're on the search for Scion.
Look for a little bit of hunting. Is able to dodge out the
Okay.
Destiny Smash. A little bit of prediction head game there. Dies right in. Is gonna get killed out by the shield explosion. Charm lands into the bush. Does find the Scion. Is not gonna have damage. Eclipse procs. And just enough damage to not get the kill on the Ahri.
Damn, that is so unlucky.
A little unlucky, but well played from both sides of the team. Nice. Another tower is going to fall in the mid lane as is undefended. Scattered is able to poke out a little bit. Skarner coming from a backline flank onto the Syndra. It doesn't seem like doesn't catch. A little bit of a kick on the tower. They know Jinx is alone, forces a flash, but the octopus combo from Aphelios is going to get that long range auto.
The thing about Aphelios is that he will still be able to kill you even if he's not on your screen anymore.
That is right. As long as he sets up those passive marks, it just guarantees the auto attacks.
We see that Bami is in our blue side. I think they're looking for a dive on Ixby down in the bot lane.
Actually is a little overstaying their stay. There isn't much to get defend. Has to drop this explosion on the ulti, but is going to get grabbed back and ganked up on by 3 players.
I think we got Pikachu might be walking into the same 3 players. 2v3. And then both sides backing off.
RIT really opening up the map. First towers on all 3 lanes are going to be falling, taken down. Almost a 11k gold lead given to blue side. This is going to make a real struggle of a second game.
That's for sure. It's also going to be very difficult to establish more vision into our own jungle, as we do know that RT is known for sitting in traps.
And a good carry off on the Destiny Smash. The Eclipse on the Scion, and plus the Unstoppable Charge is just going to get him a free out pass. However, Scion does a lot of damage. Dora out of mana, gonna be pushed out of lane again. And no objectives currently up. And we're just handshaking ways. The most Skarner is gonna E in. Looks like we're gonna turn around instantly and go for the minion tower.
Of our jungle camps being taken away by RIT, leaving very little for PB2. come back to.
Yeah, RIT really not giving Wisteria any room to breathe. To take as much as they can and leave nothing to it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be very hard for our jungler to get back into the game. With early game, blue side taken. Gwen still looking for the red. Also looking for Aquatic going in from behind.
Getting along, like all around through the vision, and is able to find Aquatic on the backside here. Is a little bit separated away from the Scion, but with the Hauled Mist is able to prevent the one Trome taking effect. Impale does catch the Gwen, but Scion is able to catch up. The Needlework coming out. Third Needlework is going to pick up the kill on the Fiora. But Gwen does fall down to the start. Rest of the team coming in here. Jinx is going to reveal the Scion in the bush with the zap, but no further moves are made.
Lovely one going
focused. A lot of poke, a little bit of a combo coming out from Haki onto Pikachu. A single Jinx left to defend top tower is not going to make much of an effort. Tier 2 tower in top lane is going to be taken. This will be another hefty amount of change into the pockets of blue side into RAT.
And I think our red side will be looking to defend bot tower, and we have Hockey backing off.
Yeah, I think Wisteria kind of knows that there's just nothing really to do with the top side here. They already have to establish their position, and just looking to do something else on the other side of the map.
Yep. There is a lot of vision for RIT, both in our jungle and along the bot side river, setting up for the dragon coming up, while Kwame takes the Terror.
I think they're doing a pretty good job of dispersing their resources.
Absolute domination over the map objectives. It does look like Atakan will be spawning in top side.
Oh yeah, the walls on the mini map. You can see them.
I think XP's gonna get caught out here.
He's gonna get a little bit caught out, knocked up on the side. Q is able to blast kill into safety, but also does take away potentially a steal option by being able to pop over that wall. Look like,
yeah, I think they're opting to give this one.
Yeah, they look like they're opting to give up the dragon. It's gonna be the first dragon to RAT, so you know, not too scary soul point, but that is gonna be another objective, nonetheless.
But an ocean dragon and a potential maybe ocean soul for RIT is going to be really bad, especially on the Scion, who's already ahead.
Okay, RIT is pushing the bot side jungle, thinking that they want to fight in the mid lane and also get the bot side tower. But they're going for a flank here. Gwen and Syndra together. Scatter comes out, finds the Leona. Gwen is going to have to drop the mist and drop the Leona. Impale catches the Gwen, drags her under tower. Hostile takeover, comes over, finds one, finds the Jinx, and the Leona and Skarner. Ari coming in a little late. Spear Rush is not going to be able to save her from the last one attack of Velios. And Aquatic on Fiora just kind of has to sit there and watch as the rest of her team falls.
She looking to stop the next minion wave from pushing them, preventing them from taking 2 towers.
Dying the wave is a good idea here, but they do crack open the inhib still. RIT not done just yet, looking to capitalize a little bit more with the template that they have. Well, jungle camp's on the way out.
13k gold lead.
Got 1 kill. Good. A little bit chaotic. It's hard to keep exact track of what happened. And is back on a ward. This even could be stopped by Leona and Jinx, but look at that shield!
Just a little bit too chunky. Ugh, disgusting.
Look at that shield! Eclipse shield plus his own on the Soul Furnace on his W. And just gonna take absolutely no damage and walk away.
Now imagine if he built Heartsteel. Oh.
Imagine. But I think they might have just opted for the Eclipse to be able to fight the Fiora early game, and
Yeah.
it looks like that was a good decision on their part for this game.
And as well as the constant ganks coming in from Mommy.
Otacon is
Focus
spawned
on
up
top
in the
side.
top lane. Blue side RAT already on it. Aquatic
Mhm.
looking for a duel in the bot side in the solo lane, but is already getting rather poked down. HP's falling. Has anti-heal drop and also a few ults. Both top laners ults are used. Otacon is secured, getting another temporary revive for blue side. Herald is going to be dropped into the top side. They're really looking for another push, opening up even more of the map and into Wisteria's base.
Yeah, most of RT focusing on the top side, looking to take top tower while the Scion solo pushes into bot.
Scatter is going to
No one will
find
be able
the
to keep up.
Ahri. Ahri forces Spirit Rush, forced to use the Lock of the Iron Story to Glen. Charm doesn't quite land on the Glen, is able to protect himself using Purple. And the Needlework is coming out. Knowing that they have the revive, they're going for a very aggressive play. Tower falls, Glen is sent back to base, but still alive. Another instant crack for RAT. Scatter finds the Ahri again into the handshake, into the Aphelios. Pulled right into her death.
Mhm.
Like Sion has been spinning this whole time. Fiora was forced to move. Protect the mid lane wave. A little bit of anti-synergy pushed away from the Leona. Under tower still has a little bit too much damage coming in from RAT. Starter is gonna live with just a little bit of HP left there. Estimating Smash is gonna find Jinx and then
Oh,
there's so much
double
going
kill.
on.
Yeah,
Hostile
there's so much
takeover
going
found
on.
the two between the two of them. We're forced to attack each other and take each other out.
Mhm.
Sion did die, but has TP and just comes right back. Like
We're seeing
RNG's
strong
towards
Voracious
the end of the
out of
game here. Unstoppable Onslaught isn't able to find the Ahri. Few misses. Garner just trying to hold out anything under tower. Unleash Power isn't even able to execute the Garner. Ahri is trying to live in base and killed it in the fountain. That's gonna be game 2 to RIT, and best of 3, they're gonna claim the series.
Mhm. Hey, we had hopes there.
Did have a little bit of hope, seeing at
Mhm.
least the different change up in the draft, but doesn't seem like they were able to make it come, make it come true.
Yeah, I do know that the team has been having a little bit of difficulty really adjusting to the new season changes with the map, with Otacon, as well as the new like jungle spawn times.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a lot to learn, and it's only been a
hmm
couple of weeks of the new season, so
A lot of
as the team
chaos
gets
too.
more practice, as the team learns a bit more about how things evolve in the competitive scene with Otacon and new room changes and everything.
hmm
Uh, Hopefully, future games are going to be a little bit better.
We are looking to see a few more system changes in the next few patches, so I think we need to hold back a little bit on feeling too comfortable right now.
Yeah, it's start of season. They decided to make for a huge change to everything in the game.
hmm
Of course, you're gonna need a little bit of time to sort things out, but
hmm
that's the classic Riot experience.
Right, games. Thank you very much.
Right. Well, it's been definitely a bit of an honor to be allowed back into the casting booth and kind of getting back into the Western side of things. Um,
hmm
but you know, maybe in the future, we'll have some more opportunities for me to come back. But
hmm Okay, and that will generally wrap things up for today. We will be having another stream, I believe, for Mario Kart tomorrow. So for anyone who is interested, please come back and watch out for our stream notifications. And thank you to everyone for watching today and coming in to cheer us on.